downstairs in the parking lot. Dizzy, God rest his soul, man. He was so much fun. And speaking of Dizzy, this week on Saturday night's Boogie Wonderland, I found an old mixtape of Dizzy's. It's scratchy quality, but I tell you what, you would not believe some of the stuff that Dizzy used to do with two turntables. He was fantastic. Like, I take my... He was
king of Handbag House.
Oh, and some of the stuff on here that you just... Yeah, living with him, sharing records with him, sharing a pair of turntables and a mixer with him. Yeah, it was just fantastic. And listening back to this mixtape and hearing some of the records he must have stolen from my crate and vice versa. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Actually, here's a great track, Chris. I'm going to whack this one on.
Nice.
This is Bellissima. This is Quicksilver.
Oh, nice.
This takes me back. This is not a 93 track at all. We've got our Bangers and Mash coming up pretty soon, though.
All right.
But yeah, we'll throw this one on in the meantime. This is Rick and Chris doing Old School Podcast. Send us an email if you want, and we'll more than happily play your track for you, or vote for us at Bangers and Mash. That was an absolutely huge track, Chris. Remember that track, Bellissima?
Absolutely solid track by DJ Quicksilver.
Oh.
Another German DJ, by the way. He's from Turkey and Germany. Didn't do a real lot, but this track was his biggest by far. And did you know that track was a real crossover track into the mainstream and was got up to about fourth in the UK charts.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So that was a massive track. That one.
I've counted up how many German DJs they are, and have a guess how many there are.
How many?
9.
Very good.
That's probably the last thing I'll win this week. Bangers and mash, buddy. This week I reckon I've got a chance.
Yeah, right. So Bangers and Mash, just once again, we go head to head with what we think is the best banger, which is the hottest track that we can come up with from our chosen year, 1993, which is this week's year. Rick so far has had the mash. I've had the bangers, but it might change this week.
A potato farmer, you could say, yes?
Potato farmer. All right, what you got?
Do you want me to go first this week?
Bud?
All right, so don't forget, if you want to vote for mine, you send an email in or a live chat here, and you send it to oldschoolpodcast@gmail.com. That's old school with a K, and you just say, hey, Rick had the banger.
Bet your money. Anyway, that is an absolute banger. That's a classic track for the day.
You're zero.
Maybe want to
open your mind. Now, did you even know this, Chris? That audio sample is taken out of the movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Another German.
No, he's Austrian.
Wow.
He's Austrian.
Oh,
close. Next door neighbours. Yeah, it's kind of the same here.
Yeah, classic track. All right, so this week, my track is by Felix. It's Don't You Want My Love. This was epic. All right, let's cut to it.
How would you vote for your track, though, Chris? Would you just send in like mental telepathy, or should you email in at oldschoolpodcast@gmail.com? Old school with a K?
Telepathy?
Telepathy works for me.
Do we have telepathy on the board?
Yes. They said yes. All right, stand by. Here it comes.
That is a hot track. The way that track transitions, and changes, like it has key changes all the way through the track. It is an absolute banger. And also it was remixed by a company called an outfit called SM Tracks, who used a very similar sort of rhythm line through it.
They sure did.
If you remember,
Yes, I love SM Tracks. Actually, we might show some of them on next week.
Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. But you'll definitely hear that Felix, Don't You Want My Love was the original, but SM Tracks remixed it. And, back in the day, remixing was all about remixing, so, we love it.
That's true. Now, if you do want to vote, send us through an email. That's Boogie Wonderland, the podcast, or Boogie Wonderland podcast @gmail.com. You know you want to.
My house is your house and your house is mine. My house is your house and your house is mine.
Now, thanks so much for all your emails and your chats and that sort of stuff. But now, my house is your house. Chris, anything been going on at your house?
Yeah, well, last week, in my exciting life of treading on sea creatures, I actually trod on some sea urchins last week. Tried to dig them out of my foot, but that's the worst thing you can do, apparently.
They can put you in hospital, dude.
Yeah, that's right. What you're supposed to do is actually put your foot in a bowl of vinegar or otherwise wee. Helps too, but I didn't. I tried to pick it out of my foot. Did not work. Ended up in hospital. So they found some sea urchins. And, they were actually quite sure that I'd trodden on a sea urchin. And you know why?
Why is that?
They were ultrasound. Anyway, my 9-year-old, who is a big, Weird Al.
Yeah.
So he's been singing like a sea urchin, stung for the very, very first time all week. 9-year-olds. So what's been happening at your house?
Hang on, when you say they were sea urchins, they weren't the urchins from Les Miserables or those sort of urchins, were they?
No.
Okay, right.
No, these were like sea urchins.
Actually, playing a track I can't stop playing at the moment because Bono requested it via email. He sent us through an email and he said, look, can you try and find this old white label track? And I did a bit of searching, and I can't stop playing it at the moment. I love it. It's coming up pretty soon in Bono's Bangers. But I'm also buying that motorbike, like I talked about last week. I can't help myself. I need my toys, but wow, a sea urchin, that is not good.
Rick and Chris. Old school.
That's right, we've only got time for maybe talking about Dizzy's Lost Tape. That's going to be played this Saturday night. That's going to be on Boogie Wonderland, the Saturday night special.
What time do you get underway on Saturday night?
Usually about 9.
Australian time.
Now, this was, I don't know if you remember this one, Chris. This was called Dizzy Gets Schmicky. It was recorded at Bent Street. Yep. You were a resident there. It made the rounds of Sydney. People recorded it and copied it and copied it and recorded it, and I found a recording of it. That's why it is a bit scratchy. It's over, 20, 25 years old, and it was Dizzy with a pair of SL1200s. I'm probably guessing...
weren't they the standard